Today we've got belt class, because I think the biggest question I get in my videos, other than, hey, what watch is that you're wearing, which for those of you that may wonder and ask today happens to be the Panerai 89. Love this watch. They don't make it anymore, but I love that anthracite dial on it. It's a cool watch. You can still find them around if you look for them though. But the other big question I get is, hey, what belt is that you're wearing in that video? That's a cool looking belt. And I always respond and point out that's one of my Wilderness tactical belts, but I've never done a video on them, and I thought I would throw up one for those of you that were wondering about them, wondering what the belt was. As a starter primer, this is the belt that I wore when I got into shooting. This is the belt I wore to my concealed carry class because I thought this was a sturdy belt. This is a leather belt from Express, and I thought, wow, look how sturdy that belt looks. Looks is actually the key here, but it's just a flimsy leather belt. And if you're going to be carrying some type of load, in this case that being a holster or anything else, this is not the belt to wear, because this belt will deform and it's just not good. So if you're going to be carrying a gun, or you just want to look cool for that matter, get one of these other much more functional, much more sturdy belts. These belts are all from Wilderness Tactical. Their website is thewilderness.com. Not affiliated with them, I just really like their products. They're fairly reasonably priced. The ones with the carbon steel buckles are $43, I believe. And the ones with the titanium buckle, you're going to spend a little bit more, $98, unfortunately. But by definition, anything titanium is cooler than anything not titanium. It's just a principle in the world. They also have these other ones, the frequent flyer belt that they call them. And these have a plastic buckle, with the idea when they came out with these being that they were designed for when you were going through airport security. This way you wouldn't have to take your belt off. But unfortunately now, with the way things are at the airports, you have to take your belt off in a lot of cases anyway. These belts, a lot of companies make belts like these. A couple other examples. Here's one from 511. Here's one from Galco. And the Galco one, as you can see, is a pretty similar buckle design to the Wilderness ones here. The 511s all have this rounded design. But I always view the Wilderness ones as sort of the ones that started all. These actually were first developed back in 1983. And they've been refined since then. And they're made in USA, and they've been my go-to belt for years. My everyday carry video that I've made a couple of, this belt has been in every video because I think I've been wearing it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I wear these belts daily to work. Some of you may know, I wear tactical pants to work in the ER. Not because I want to look like the cool hospital ninja, but I just like the functionality of them. I carry all the pockets for carrying flashlights and knives and phones and that sort of thing. And I always wear these belts with them, partially because I think they just fit with the look of the pants, partially because I think they look cool. And I get a lot of compliments on them, even at the hospital. Even some of our like 60-year-old social workers say, "Oh, that's a cool belt. What is that?" Not that they're going to wear them, but I do get a lot of compliments on the belts at work, and a lot of people in the videos obviously see them as well. This is the term of the Instructor Belt. If you go to their website, like I said, thewilderness.com, I'll put a link in the description here. Their Instructor Belt is their basic belt that you can get either with the carbon steel buckle or the titanium buckle. And they all come with a couple of varying levels of stiffness. They have different stitches here. I don't know if you can see it in the video. This is a 5-stitch belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches across. And that gives it much more rigidity this way. I got this belt actually for hiking. And this is a 3-stitch belt. You can see just 2 stitches on the outside, 1 in the middle. And this one is a lot less stiff. They also come in 3 different widths. This is the 1 inch. This is an 1.25 inches, or 1.5 inches rather, sorry. And then they also have them in inch and a half. I think actually this is an inch and a quarter. Yeah, 1.25 inches for that one. So pick the width you need. Most holster, I get all my holster belts the same, 1.5 inches. That way they all fit the holster the same. But they're really comfortable. Size-wise, there's 2 options for sizing. You can get them by specific size. This is a 33. And then they have their quick fit ones, which this is a medium. So the quick fit ones will say this belt fits from 32 to 36 inch waist or something like that. How do they fit size-wise, in relation to your waist size? I wear a 32 pants. I have 2 33s and 1 34. I like the size of the 34 a little bit better. There's a little bit more tail that comes through, whereas the 33s don't have quite as much overlap on the Velcro. The way these belts work is that you obviously feed them through your belt loops. Take the one in here, you feed it through, and then you feed it back through right here. Cinch it down, and then through your belt loop. And that's simple. These buckles, these carbon steel buckles, they're actually rated up to 5,900 pounds. So while this is not intentionally set up to be a rappelling belt, if you needed to clip a carabiner on this and rappel with this belt, you actually could. It's actually rated that high. However, as a side note, they are not rated that high if you loop it through just like this. It needs to be locked down through here. What I see some people do is they'll loop it through and then they'll go like this on the outside of their belt loop. I mean, I guess you could. I just don't like the look of that. I always put it through there. I think it's a little bit more professional, cleaner look like that. Size-wise, like I said, this is a 34, and you can see on my 32-inch waist, I have enough extra play here, or enough extra tail, and my holster still fits fine over here. The one downside with these that I've noticed is I wear these for concealed carry, and depending on what type of garment removal technique you use, if you're doing the one-handed where you're just lifting your shirt straight up, sometimes as I'm lifting the shirt up, the shirt can get caught on the corner here, and then it gets kind of snagged. Sometimes it happens over here, sometimes it happens here. Again, just depending on what technique you're using for getting your covering garment out of the way. If you're using a up and out, you're not going to be problems with it, but if you're using just a straight up, you may have a problem, so you need to practice with this a bunch of times to make sure that you've got that down. But otherwise, I'd say that's about it. Like I said, I've been wearing this daily 4 or 5 times a week. The most popular one, with it myself anyway, is this titanium buckle one, and you know, there's some fraying of the Velcro there, but for wearing it several times a week for 4 or 5 years, they're holding up great. Really, no complaints at all. And if I happen to wear one out, well, I'll buy it again because I like them that much. So check them out. Wilderness Tactical. Their website is The Wilderness. There you go. There's the tag. Great belts, great products, made in the USA. Get one, get them all. Get all the fashion colors. They actually forgot this. They actually make a money belt if you need to, where there's a little pocket back in the back here. You can actually store some money if you want to do that. A little bit more concealedness there. But that's about it. Check them out. Belts from The Wilderness. Awesome product. Absolutely love them.